at the end of the first half, last 4.5, 5 minutes, where it was I think it was a 17 or 19-0 run. Besides that, we had a good effort, but in the Big East, it's not good enough. You need to fight for 40 minutes and be consistent. And we didn't have it tonight. And got tight, one possession game, just didn't get a stop. Didn't get a stop when we needed to, and that's the difference. They finished the game and we didn't.
Mike, what happened in the 19-0 run defensively for you guys?
We blinked. Again, I thought we were, again, they're a talented offensive team, so you're not going to completely shut it down, but you can't get sad. You can't, you can't stop fighting. And we do. We have a tendency to, when they go on a run or something bad happens, we have a tendency to feel sorry for ourselves, and that's just, you're in the wrong league to do that. And we have to, that mentality, that toughness that you need for 40 minutes, we have to develop a consistency for 40 minutes.
Why do they keep feeling sorry for themselves?
Not sure. Not sure what the reason is. Maybe getting sad or losing that edge. Even better. I don't know if it's feeling sorry for himself that something bad happened on the offensive end, or it's just you completely losing that edge, and it's frustrating. And it goes in different players. But tonight it was just cost us the game.
Mike, the last possession when you guys were down, not the last possession, but 3-point game, what'd you kind of tell your team in the huddle?
Well, we went small. We were going to go 1 through 5 and just make them take a guarded shot. And like a lot of tonight, we just couldn't get a defense to stop. They kept driving us. And they didn't get an advantage because none of their screens worked because we switched everything. It's just, again, the inability to keep somebody in front of us was it hurt us. And again, that's at home. You can't let the opponent take your passion, your energy, your edge, and they did it tonight to us. And they've done it the last month, and just it's frustrating. But there was some positives. There was some things. There was a fight back in the second half that I liked. There was some execution, but again, it's just moral victories aren't working here. We need consistency and a mentality.
Mike, when you're talking about that, is it their lack of understanding? Is it immaturity? Why do you think the team does something like that?
If I knew, I'd figure it.
I don't mean in terms of getting it fixed, but is there anything you put your finger on what you see happens with them? I mean,
sometimes we stop scoring and it affects the way the energy level that we have. You go on a 19-0 run. Part of that 19-0 run is us having a donut, and so the energy level that you have to sustain when something isn't going right. That's what good teams have. Good teams, again, you watch it all the time. In college basketball, 50-50, or teams with 20 points, 18 points at half. But those teams, good teams, don't let what happens on the offensive end affect their fight, their edge, their intensity. And we do. We drop, we lose our intensity at times, and it's bewildering and something we'll continue to work on.
Like, at what point are you going to start running more offense through a Kadeem?
Soon. Now. Again, you couldn't before. Now he's almost, you could almost say Kadeem's consistent has arrived. I was mad at Kadeem for not taking it when he passed to Miles on the back cut. He's got a guy on his hip, a guy on his back, and he's 4 feet, but that's something he's got to get accustomed to doing. Now that Eli's not in, I need a second option who's consistent. And right now it's Kadeem, and his effort and his focus have been great.
Is he kind of getting to the point where he might warrant starting minutes, or do you like him still coming?
No, we're going to make some adjustments. Again, I'm open to anything. So he's earned that, and if it helps our team, then I'll discuss it with him, because right now his last 2 games have been off the bench, and he's been But he's a bright spot in a tough last month.
Mike, how much did foul trouble with Jerome play into what you wanted to do in terms of trying to get him and Miles a little more rest?
Especially with getting Miles more rest. Jerome he was off tonight, and it's such a small margin of error now that Eli's not here that it hurt when he didn't have and again, I thought his effort was there, but finishing layups, making simple plays and staying out of foul trouble, it's too difficult right now when he's on the bench for that stretch of long of a time. And not necessarily do we struggle when him off the bench, but I think guys just wore down and last 4 or 5 minutes didn't get stops like we should have.
I don't know how much you've thought about it, but with this loss, you guys are locked into Tuesday.
I haven't thought about it. No, I'm thinking about Georgetown and
what I'm saying is that disappointing to hear?
I'm not thinking about it. I'd like to rip my eyes out right now, but from the loss. So I'll think about finishing where we finished during my days off.
One more question, please.
Mike, do you think that Eli Carter being out has allowed for other players to step up, or do you think that because he's out, they have taken on, like Kadeem Jack in particular, have taken on more responsibility and taken the offense into their hands?
Yeah, I think Kadeem now understands that he has to be more aggressive. And it's not like we haven't asked Kadeem to be more aggressive, but I don't know, sometimes that now that we lack the scoring punch and he now, all of a sudden is becoming more aggressive. So Miles Mack's becoming more aggressive. Certain guys are stepping up. And again, for your best player, your leading scorer to go down, we have to have guys do extraordinary things. Guys step up. And Kadeem has done that the last 2 games. We just haven't had enough. Just like LaDonte Hitton came outside of himself. He was shooting 25%, and now was 3 for 4 from 3. It's just we have to have guys do things that they normally don't do. That's how we have to win basketball games, and we haven't gotten enough guys to do that yet.